Hello friends, welcome to Ansarkari, and in continuation of Mauryan Empire, we are taking up very important elements with respect to Mauryan administration, art and culture, foreign relations and decline of Mauryan Empire. So we are throwing light on these elements because they are interrelated with each other. But before going into details, I would like to clarify that in the previous video with respect to Mauryan Empire, in which we were talking about Dhamma, there in reference to Ashoka's visit to Lumbini I with context of Rumandei pillar, he went on to exempt the village from all kind of taxes, and only contribution was there, that was 1/8. So no taxes were there after Ashoka announced that the village will be exempted. So kindly note that. Coming back to the Mauryan administration, certain elements of Dhamma, they were reflected in administration. It was forming the core policy. Mauryan Empire was divided into 4 big provinces, and below the provinces were large number of villages. There were appointment of amatyas, that is officers, and above amatyas you have maha amatyas, that is superior officers. They were forming part of bureaucracy. Ashoka was having a council of ministers, but then Ashoka will be taking decision with his own understanding. He was an absolute monarch like those times. It is not a democratically elected leader. That is why he will be forcing that all kind of grievances of people must be solved as much as possible. He will be working towards creation of public assets, whether these are roadways, whether these are wells, whether these are canals. He will be working upon these lines in an aggressive manner. That is what is visible through Ashokan edicts. Ashokan edicts talks about his different welfare policies. That is why one of the key cardinal principles of governance by Ashoka was that all men are my children. He believed in this philosophy, which showcases that it is a welfare oriented approach. Though Ashoka is running a centralized empire, which is somehow greatly influenced by Arthashastra also, which is having 15 adhikarnas. So Ashoka is imbibing the idea of a centralized policy or centralized empire, but empire is too large and too big to be controlled by one mechanism or by one policy. That is why Ashokan edicts, they showcases different languages in different parts of India. General language is Prakrit, that you will find in Ashokan edicts, and script is Brahmi script. But when you go to northwest, it is Kharoshti script, and Greek and Aramaic is also used because certain other communities were living there. So what it showcases about administration is that he believed in coexistence. He wanted that different communities must not be fighting with each other. He believed that non-violence must be practiced, which he himself showcased by stopping cooking of meat in his royal kitchen. He also wanted that instead of bheri ghosh, that is a kind of a conduct in which you are using violence, you are using superior forces, that there must be use of Dhamma Ghosh, that you have superior victory when you are conquering your own weaknesses, when you are conquering your own desires. So administration is working upon welfare oriented ideas, which is reflected in his relations with foreign countries also. For example, West Asia. He is mentioning names of kings of West Asia in his edicts. He is also talking about sending his son and daughter to Sri Lanka in order to spread Buddhism. It is one of the earliest examples of foreign policy and also diplomatic skills by India. You can say that Ashoka is laying down a base on which future India will be learning a lot of lessons. But certain ideas of society are also reflected by Megasthenes. Megasthenes was a very famous ambassador in Mauryan court. He went on to write Indica, which we do not find traces, but Indica, what was talking about, is reflected by other Greek historians through references. So he is also saying that society was divided into 7 parts and there was no slavery existing in India. Probably he was not aware about the real conditions, or you can say he was comparing Indian society or India, what was at Patliputra, the great capital, with respect to Greek and Athens. When we come to art and architecture, then certain great fundamental ideas were reflected in this time. For example, Ashokan pillars. Ashokan pillars were made up of sandstone and they were polished and very much skillfully made. For example, today's India's national emblem is taken from Sarnath pillar, that is lion emblem, you can say it is taken from there. There were other animals also on different pillars, for example bull or lion, and also different kind of ideas reflected in that sense. So Ashokan time period with respect to administration, art, architecture and society, it was a beautiful time period. But if such was the case, then how come Mauryan Empire finished within 100 years of Ashoka's passing away? This is a great question. Probably Ashoka was not using violence, he was completely non-violent, but a great army was also there. So you need great expenditures in order to maintain such army. Secondly, financial expenditures in terms of administration were also increasing. Otherwise also, empire was too huge and too big to be controlled by one mechanism. It is also possible that the future rulers were not so strong and visionary like that of Ashoka. It is also possible that the pacifist policy of Ashoka would not have been admired by large sections of society. And it is in the same time period after passing away of Ashoka that there were attacks from northwest by Greek Bactrian kings, and nobody acted like the way Chandragupta had acted 100 years ago. So it is in this context, you can say, that the Mauryan Empire could not sustain its greatness, and it went on to collapse when the last Mauryan king, Brihadratha, would be assassinated by Pushyamutra Shunga. The Pushyamutra Shunga will be creating a new empire, or a new kingdom I should say, not empire, which will be leading to new dimensions. So you can say the centralized empire of Mauryan time is no more. It will be disintegrating into different parts, and it will be leading to new dimensions, new cultural ideas, new social values, and future India will be learning lot of new areas in this context. But definitely the contribution of Mauryan Empire is too huge. It was the first centralized empire in India. It was the first empire which is talking about territorial integrity of India in such an explicit manner. That is why till today, whenever we read in books, whenever you talk about Ashoka and his governance system, we say it was definitely a milestone. How far do you agree with this point? Kindly write back to me. I will be looking forward to your comments. Wishing you all the best for your exams, and do not forget to like, subscribe and share our channel. Thank you very much.